PSLV C-60 रॉकेट ने जैसे ही श्रीहरिकोटा स्थित सतीश धवन अंतरिक्ष केंद्र से आसमान की ओर उड़ान भरी, इसरो ने अंतरिक्ष में ऐतिहासिक छलांग की ओर कदम बढ़ा दिए। आकाश में अपने पीछे धुएं की लकीरें छोड़ता हुआ रॉकेट PSLV C-60 अपने साथ दो छोटे अंतरिक्ष यान चेजर और टारगेट को लेकर बढ़ चला। थोड़ी देर बाद दोनों ही अंतरिक्ष यान रॉकेट से सफलतापूर्वक अलग होकर करीब 470 किलोमीटर की निचली कक्षा में स्थापित हो चुके हैं।
Really happy to announce the successful accomplishment of the launch of PSLV C-60 for the SpaDeX mission. The rocket has placed the satellites in the right orbit, which is 475 kilometer circular orbit. That's only one part of the mission, injection of the SpaDeX satellites. Now, in another 15 minutes, the fourth stage of PSLV will change its orbit from 475 kilometer to 350 kilometer lower orbit by first phase of firing. And also, the second phase of firing will be at about 1 hour, 20 minutes later after the liftoff. So that process is continuing to enable POEM operations to happen. Further to that, the spacecraft is also going to wait for the solar panel deployment. So as far as we are concerned, the mission is very well as far as the rocket is concerned. So it has placed the satellite in the right orbit. The SpaDeX 2 satellites are moved. You would have seen in the animation that they moved little one behind the other. So over the period of time, for the days, it will pick up further distance, travel to almost a 20 kilometer distance away. And then the rendezvous and docking process will start. And we hope that the docking process can happen in another 1 week. The nominal time is going to be approximately 7th of January. So I'm waiting for the panel deployment status. I think you have the status?
Yes, sir.
Yes. So I would like to say that the panels of the satellites have been deployed successfully. So congratulations to the entire team of the PSLV project who put the satellite in the right orbit. Also the SpaDeX team who worked a very innovative, novel, cost-effective docking demonstration mission using two small satellite bus architecture. And also two very important parts of this mission is the POEM-4, where we have 24 payloads hosted, which are from the startups, industries, academic institutions, research laboratories, and also from ISRO centers. All the R&D payloads are there waiting for testing in the coming days, in fact in months. So congratulations to them for successful accomplishment of all the mission objectives through the POEM.
SpaDeX मिशन काफी जटिल और चुनौतीपूर्ण है। आने वाले कुछ दिनों में अंतरिक्ष में इन दोनों यानों की स्पेस डॉकिंग यानी एक साथ जोड़ने की कोशिश की जाएगी। मिशन की सफलता के साथ ही भारत स्पेस डॉकिंग तकनीक में महारत हासिल करने वाले चुनिंदा देशों में शामिल हो जाएगा।
The activity for us starts now. The vehicle has given a small delta V by delaying the second satellite separation by about 3 seconds, and this will about 10 meters per second rate. This distance will grow. And we are expecting by tomorrow evening, the two satellites will get separated by about 20 kilometers. At this point, we will start using the onboard propulsion system on one of the two satellites to arrest the drift so that we maintain a 20 kilometer distance between the two satellites, and like twins, they will be going around in the same orbit with the same speed. We have to wait for 4 days for the appropriate sun orientation for the docking to happen, because in this orbit, the sun is going to go all around the spacecraft body. So we require another 4 days of wait for the sun relative position to come in a favorable condition, so that in the docking orientation, the two spacecraft will generate sufficient power. At this point, again, we will initiate the drift of the two satellites so that the 20 kilometer distance is progressively reduced to 5 kilometers, 1.5 kilometers, like that it will reduce. And after we reach 5 kilometers onwards, we are going to enable the inter-satellite RF link between these two satellites, so that the two satellites will talk to each other and exchange their own position, attitude, this kind of information they will exchange, which will enable us to evaluate the software logics which are there in the spacecraft, and also the several new sensors that have been developed by our laboratory for electro-optic systems, Bangalore. These sensors will be one by one evaluated for their fitness for initiating this docking sequence. So docking sequence will start once the inter-satellite distance is reduced to 1.5 kilometers. From there onwards, 3 different algorithms are going to be used, guidance algorithms are going to be used to minimize the propellant consumption, but achieve the required movement between the two satellites without actually deviating too much away, so that the sensors do not lose a line of sight among these two. This is a very innovative way this has been done. And once we reach 3 kilometers, 3 meters, the final guidance algorithm will be initiated, which will be a constant velocity PV guidance, it is called. With the constant velocity of about 10 millimeters per second, the chaser satellite will go and enter into the target satellite.
इसरो को इस मिशन के लिए देश भर से शुभकामनाएं मिल रही हैं।
One of the first experiments undertaken by India as far as the docking technology is concerned. But I think what makes it special is that it is a purely indigenous technology. And that's why it's been appropriately named as Bharatiya docking technology. And that is very much in keeping with Prime Minister Modi's mantra of Atmanirbhar Bharat.
डॉकिंग उन मिशन के लिए जरूरी है जिनमें भारी अंतरिक्ष यान और उपकरण को अंतरिक्ष में पहुंचाने की जरूरत होती है, जिन्हें एक बार में लॉन्च नहीं किया जा सकता है, जिन्हें अलग अलग लॉन्च किया जाता है और फिर अंतरिक्ष में एक साथ लाकर स्पेस डॉकिंग यानी एक साथ जोड़ने की कोशिश की जाएगी। साल के आखिरी दिन इसरो ने अंतरिक्ष में एक और सफल उड़ान भरी। SpaDeX मिशन की सफलता के बाद भारत दुनिया में ऐसा चौथा देश बन जाएगा जिसके पास स्पेस डॉकिंग टेक्नोलॉजी है। फिलहाल अंतरिक्ष डॉकिंग टेक्नोलॉजी में अमेरिका, रूस और चीन सक्षम हैं। मिशन की कामयाबी भारतीय अंतरिक्ष केंद्र की स्थापना और चंद्रयान 4 जैसे मानव अंतरिक्ष मिशन के लिए अहम साबित होगी। SpaDeX का अर्थ है स्पेस डॉकिंग एक्सपेरिमेंट। अंतरिक्ष में डॉकिंग एक जटिल काम है। SpaDeX मिशन का मकसद अंतरिक्ष यानों को डॉक और अनडॉक करने के लिए आवश्यक तकनीक को विकसित करना और प्रदर्शित करना है। SpaDeX मिशन PSLV C-60 रॉकेट के जरिए 2 छोटे अंतरिक्ष यान का उपयोग करके अंतरिक्ष में डॉकिंग के प्रदर्शन के लिए एक लागत प्रभावी प्रौद्योगिकी प्रदर्शन मिशन है। ये तकनीक भारत की अंतरिक्ष महत्वाकांक्षाओं जैसे कि चंद्रमा पर भारत, चंद्रमा से नमूना वापसी, भारतीय अंतरिक्ष स्टेशन का निर्माण और संचालन के लिए आवश्यक है।
Hearty congrats to Team ISRO for venturing into the exciting domain of space docking. This mission is once again a poem-intensive mission. We have 24 payloads on board, and congratulations to the team who have developed these payloads adhering to our schedules, and congratulations to InSpace for facilitating the delivery of these payloads. This time we are flying the indigenous Vikram 3201 based mission management computer in POEM. Also we have interesting experiments like space robots doing debris capture and inchworm walking, then plasmaspheric and electron density measurements. 3 biological experiments are there, advanced inertial sensors, green propulsion systems, etc. And this month, in fact, we had 2 launches of PSLV from the same launch pad, that is the first launch pad. So after the first launch, the SDSC team, SHART team, was very quick in refurbishing the launch pad. Special thanks to them, and also to the teams in VSSC. We also had the movement of the fully integrated vehicle that is up to the PS4 stage from PIF to MST. So let me thank the SDSC and VSSC teams for making this possible.
इसरो अंतरिक्ष में 28,800 किलोमीटर प्रति घंटा की गति से परिक्रमा कर रहे 2 उपग्रहों को डॉक करने का प्रयास करेगा। ये एक चुनौतीपूर्ण कार्य है क्योंकि दोनों उपग्रहों को उनके सापेक्ष वेग को मात्र 0.036 किलोमीटर प्रति घंटा तक कम करने के लिए सावधानीपूर्वक संचालित किया जाना चाहिए। चेजर और टारगेट नाम से 2 उपग्रह अंतरिक्ष में एक इकाई बन जाएंगे। अंतरिक्ष में डॉकिंग तकनीक तब आवश्यक होती है जब सामान्य मिशन उद्देश्यों को प्राप्त करने के लिए कई रॉकेट लॉन्च की आवश्यकता होती है। SpaDeX मिशन में 2 छोटे अंतरिक्ष यान शामिल हैं। हर यान का वजन लगभग 220 किलोग्राम है। ये पृथ्वी से 470 किलोमीटर ऊपर चक्कर लगा रहा है। मिशन का उद्देश्य सफल डॉक किए गए अंतरिक्ष यानों में ऊर्जा का हस्तांतरण करना और अनडॉकिंग के बाद पेलोड का संचालन करना है। मिशन अंतरिक्ष डॉकिंग में महारत हासिल करने वाले देशों की विशेष श्रेणी में भारत के प्रवेश को सुनिश्चित करेगा।
I would like to congratulate our PSLV team for the 2 successful launches that in a month. I think it's a record, and for proving that way the vehicle's robustness once again. You have also placed our twin babies in a perfect circular orbit as per our requirement. And I'm happy to share the news that our solar panels are successfully deployed, and the SpaceX are on their journey, unfolding their wings towards the docking experiment, which is expected to be happening around January 1st week. This mission is very interesting and challenging, not just because of our space docking experiment, the interesting POEM-4 payloads, which are also unique and futuristic in nature. Let me congratulate all our POEM team members, payload team for their further operation success.
SpaDeX मिशन एक किफायती तकनीक का प्रदर्शन करने वाला मिशन है। ये तकनीक भारत की अंतरिक्ष से जुड़ी महत्वाकांक्षाओं के लिए काफी अहम है। मिशन में अतिरिक्त सेंसर सूट में लेजर रेंज फाइंडर और कॉर्नर क्यूब रेट्रो रिफ्लेक्टर शामिल हैं, जो रेंज निर्धारित करने के लिए 6000 से 200 मीटर की रेंज में काम आते हैं। रेंडेजवस सेंसर का सेट 2000 से 250 मीटर की रेंज और 250 से 10 मीटर तक इस्तेमाल किया जा सकता है। मिशन का मकसद डॉक किए गए अंतरिक्ष यान के बीच पावर के हस्तांतरण का प्रदर्शन करना है, जो भविष्य में स्पेस रोबोटिक्स जैसे प्रयोगों में अहम साबित होगा। इसके अलावा अंतरिक्ष यान का पूरा नियंत्रण और अनडॉकिंग के बाद पेलोड का संचालन जैसी बातें भी इस मिशन के उद्देश्य का हिस्सा हैं। SpaDeX प्रयोगों के लिए PSLV के 4थे चरण यानी POEM-4 ऑर्बिटल एक्सपेरिमेंटल मॉड्यूल का भी इस्तेमाल किया जाएगा। ये चरण शैक्षणिक संस्थानों और स्टार्टअप्स के 24 पेलोड को ले जाने का काम करेगा। ये प्रयोग कक्षा में सूक्ष्म गुरुत्वाकर्षण वातावरण का उपयोग करेंगे। इस मिशन की सफलता अंतरिक्ष स्टेशन की स्थापना और संचालन के अलावा चांद पर एस्ट्रोनॉट के भेजने जैसी योजनाओं की राह आसान बनाएगा। चंद्रयान 4 मिशन 2 रॉकेट LMV-3 और PSLV के जरिए अलग अलग उपकरणों के 2 सेट चंद्रमा पर लॉन्च करेगा। अंतरिक्ष यान चंद्रमा पर उतरेगा, आवश्यक मिट्टी और चट्टानों के नमूने एकत्र करेगा, उन्हें एक बॉक्स में रखेगा और फिर चंद्रमा से उड़ान भरकर पृथ्वी पर वापस आएगा। इनमें से प्रत्येक गतिविधि को पूरा करने के लिए अलग अलग उपकरण डिजाइन किए गए हैं। ये परियोजना भविष्य के भारत को अंतरिक्ष शोध के क्षेत्र में बहुत आगे ले जाएगी। केंद्र सरकार ने इस योजना के लिए 2104 करोड़ रुपए का बजट आवंटित किया है। इसे 2040 तक भारत की ओर से चंद्रमा पर मानव को उतारने के लक्ष्य की दिशा में अगले कदम के रूप में देखा जा रहा है। ये मानव युक्त गगनयान मिशन के लिए भी काफी अहम है।
3, 2, 1, 0.
भारत के स्पेस मिशन के लिए 2024 बेहद खास रहा। इसरो ने स्पेस डॉकिंग एक्सपेरिमेंट मिशन लॉन्च किया। SpaDeX मिशन के सफल प्रक्षेपण पर केंद्रीय मंत्री जितेंद्र सिंह ने खुशी जताई। भारत स्वदेशी रूप से विकसित भारतीय डॉकिंग सिस्टम के माध्यम से अंतरिक्ष डॉकिंग हासिल करने वाले चुनिंदा देशों की सूची में शामिल होने वाला चौथा देश बन गया है। आत्मनिर्भर भारत के लक्ष्य की दिशा में ये एक महत्वपूर्ण कदम है। साथ ही ये गगनयान और भारतीय अंतरिक्ष स्टेशन के लिए अंतरिक्ष में नई यात्रा के रास्ते खोलेगा। SpaDeX मिशन का मकसद अंतरिक्ष में 2 उपग्रहों को डॉक करना है, जो भविष्य के अंतरिक्ष मिशनों के लिए एक महत्वपूर्ण तकनीक साबित होगा।
When we look forward to having a Gaganyaan and we look forward to having multiple satellites in the space, and to put it in simple terms for the benefit of the layman, when we talk of transferring material from one satellite to the one spacecraft to the other, be that the payloads, be that the laboratory samples, the inputs, and maybe someday even the human being walking one spacecraft to the other, or to and fro. This technology is going to enable us to accomplish that, which would be a sequel to Gaganyaan, and later on when we are planning to have the first Indian placing his foot on the surface of moon by the year 2040. And also when we have our own space station, which has been scheduled as of now for 2035. So when we have a space station over there, as I said, to put it in the layman's language, how do we land there? How do we move things there? So we need to have this technology. We can't simply have a station there which is just hanging in space and we sitting down here watching it. So how do we actually arrange transportation to and fro? And that is where, to put it in simple terms, this docking technology, which is also undocking at the same time, is going to help. This being very cost effective. Our 2 satellites, one named Chaser, the other one named the Target, have cost just about 125 crore rupees each, and our launch vehicle 250, which makes it hardly about 375 crore or so, which is a very, very small fraction of the similar missions undertaken by other agencies, whether it's the NASA or it's the European Space Agency. And that has once again confirmed our abilities to go in for cost-effective missions at a competitive level.
2024 का आगाज और 2024 का अंजाम इसरो की कामयाबी की कहानी खुद कह रहा है।
The year 2024, also I don't know whether you noticed, the year began by making news about space. And I'm sure Palla would bear me out when I say that. So it was the Aditya, the first solar mission by India, a very ambitious mission, which had entered into L1 point. Of course, it's been launched earlier, or 3 months earlier, but it got into that destination in the month of January. And then throughout the year, we had, as was being told you, the first ever National Space Day observed in the first 3 months after the Modi government 3.0 took over. Then the Prova 3 mission is again a solar mission, which is, of course, been launched by ISRO, but belongs to the European Space Agency. In other words, we are now also assisting them to accomplish their missions. And in between, so many trials have happened for the Gaganyaan, which is in the pipeline. The first indigenous human mission, of course, the first Indian to go up was Rakesh Sharma, which happened in the early 1980s, but that was a Soviet mission. So the trials are almost now through. We're waiting for the final, you can call it a dress rehearsal in the form of Vayomitra, female robo, which will happen sometime next year, which of course is starting tomorrow itself. And the huge amount of public interest which has been generated by the space achievements has actually created awareness as well as enthusiasm among the common citizens of India in various scientific pursuits across the lines.
भारत के स्पेस मिशन की कामयाब कहानी में पिछला 1 दशक बेहद खास रहा है। केंद्र सरकार की दूरदर्शिता अब अपना असर दिखा रही है।
Thank the Honorable Prime Minister, Shri Narendra Modi ji. Much of the achievements that were being spelled out to you right now by Mr. Jaiswal have been possible because of the enabling milieu provided in the last 10 years, whether it be the space reforms, the opening of the space sector to the private sector, and allowing FDI and resulting in some of the world-class startups which were just in single digit till about 4 years back. Now we are almost 300. And that has been possible to a great extent, I think, because as the media friends very fondly reported at that time, the unlocking of space by Prime Minister Modi. And this is something that had been given up because nobody expected that ever the Department of Space, Government of India would be allowed this kind of liberty, and therefore known for his capacity to take out-of-box decisions and break many a taboos of the past. When it was put across to Prime Minister Modi, he allowed us. And all these missions, which are not only indigenous, but are also providing inputs and cues to the other space agencies across the world, and the other agencies are now looking forward to collaborate with India.
पिछले कुछ सालों में भारत की स्पेस अर्थव्यवस्था को भी पंख लगे हैं। 2047 में विकसित भारत के लक्ष्य में स्पेस की भूमिका भी बेहद अहम रहेगी।
I often take pleasure in saying that when we say that we will be number 3, after 4, then 3, then 5 trillion, and then gradually reach that pedestal by 2047. As scientific minds, what is expected of us is to analyze, to share, and to tell where is the value addition going to come from. So value addition to this growth of India's economy or India's growth story, as far as economics is concerned, will come from those sectors which were either unexplored or underexplored, which also includes the space sector. The other sectors, of course, being the marine resources, for which also the same government has started a deep sea mission, which was announced by Prime Minister right for the Abbas of the Red Fort in his Independence Day address. And third one, of course, the Himalayan resources, where again I'm proud that the same ministry through CSIR has launched a Rama mission, of which also again Prime Minister very encouragingly spoke in one of his Man Ki Baat broadcasts. But now coming to space specifically, we have started adding to our space economy. Today, we are just about 2% of the economy, but we hope that within 7-8 years, we'll go out about 4 times. So from 8.4 billion US dollars, we hope to go up to 44 billion US dollars. And that's happened because of an increasing participation, collaboration, and doing away with the demarcation between the private and the public sector.
इसरो अपनी स्थापना के 5 दशक से ज्यादा के सफर में लगातार नई कीर्तिमान रच रहा है, गढ़ रहा है।
To watch more programs of Sansad TV, subscribe to our YouTube channel and don't forget to like and share them.